People, I'm David Bondar. I'm an idiot who tries to teach people how to code. I'm not very good at it, but here I am. As you can tell, the budget for this show is incredibly high, as you can see through my 480p camera. Actually, considering that I'm in debt to my brother for these thumbnails, the budget is negative. So, today's class, we can tell we're going to have some good fun because I don't know what I'm doing, and neither does anyone else. So, we're going to try do some HTML today. This is, I think, going to be episode 4. I don't know. This is the first time I'm doing an intro because apparently I'm a YouTuber now. Now, any questions from my wonderful audience? Who wishes to introduce themselves? Long
Wait,
silence.
we're doing introductions?
Yes. Don't destroy my
Okay.
intro.
Oh, my bad.
This is Ryan. Tell me about
Yeah,
yourself, Ryan.
I'm just a student that learns how to code. Yeah, that's about it.
The most generic Ryan. Where are you from, Ryan?
Well, I'm from South Africa.
Say hi to
Yeah,
Ryan.
I know. But
Okay. Thank you. Now, Neil, your turn.
Hello.
Hi, Neil. Introduce yourself to the millions of subscribers.
I'm Neil.
Hi, Neil. Where are you from, Neil?
Yes, I'm from China.
And I'm an idiot Swede. So let's begin. Okay. So we're gonna. You can tell by my production quality, we're using the wonderful world that is Google Meet. I am top tier YouTuber, as you can tell. Okay. I'm memeing on myself. I want to become a meme. That's what I want, okay? I want to be a meme. Okay. So let us begin. Let me just get into some coding. And today we're going to do something that I think Neil and Ryan, you guys will find interesting and very useful. Today we're going to do some JavaScript embedded inside of our HTML. And why is this useful? This is useful for making us do things and allowing us to interact with our website in certain ways. The JavaScript that I know is very limited. I'm going to show you 2 pieces of JavaScript that I do know, right? A button. I'll show you how buttons work.
Yes.
Exciting.
Sorry.
I'll show you how buttons work, and then, or at least basic buttons, and then I will show you how we can turn a light bulb on and off. So, any questions? Or are we ready to go?
Like a digital light bulb.
Yes, a digital light bulb.
Okay.
Not a real light bulb. Though that would be cool, right? So, JavaScript can trigger events when events are detected. So, event is something that happens outside the JavaScript code. So, it can be triggered by a browser finishing to load the page. It can be triggered if a user clicks a button on a page, or when Yes, Neil?
So there are sites that with buttons. You
Yeah.
hover your mouse over the button,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get the button changes color. That
Yeah.
can be done with JavaScript.
Yes. Definitely.
Okay. Can we
Do I know how to
are
do
we
that?
gonna learn?
Absolutely
Is
not.
that a part of our learning?
No, because I have no idea how to do that.
Oh, okay.
I'm an
I guess
algorithm-
we'll just ask Google. Yeah.
Yes, I'm an algorithmic programmer, remember. Not a web designer, okay? I build machines that learn. I don't build.
All right.
Yes. Anyway. Also, we were on our list to learning how JavaScript works is when a user enters data into an HTML form, which I showed you before. Remember, we showed you what a form was this. This was a form. So this can trigger a JavaScript event. However, we didn't write any JavaScript, so we didn't trigger any of it.
Question.
Yes, Neil.
Input there is an ID equals okay. So one of them input. Okay, import something into the box, right?
Yes.
And that value is taken.
Yes.
Where is it taken to?
It's
Which value is
sent
it taken
here.
to? Is it submit?
It's submitted here to this false IP.
Yeah, but you see, there's a bunch of code. You're assigning the what user typed into a variable. Is that variable name or variable ID?
This ID. This ID
Okay.
is the identifier that lets you know what the label is, or what the label is, and how that links to the input box.
But what when you type in no into the inbox,
Yes.
and you want to send that note to the server side, and server side code decide what to do with it. But but something needs to carry that no into the server side. And what's that something carrying it? Is it name or ID or?
Well, the ID will tell you what's the thing that has been. The ID will tell you the thing that has been carried over, the actual thing that's been carried over, not the text that you enter. But I guess
Okay.
this would be the closest thing to what you mean. This will tell you, it's kind of like a variable, but it's not really. This will tell you what you've been entered as, right? The type,
Okay, okay.
This is called metadata. We call this metadata. And the type is text. That means it's telling us the data type
Yeah.
that it is.
Yeah.
And the name is well, that's more of the variable. The
Okay,
ID
name
is
is every like can be anything.
yes, the ID would be our identifier, our unique identifier for this, and our name can be anything, right? Our name would be our variable name, our because we can have loads of variables with the same name, but you can only have one unique identifier.
Okay.
Okay, make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now today we're going to take a bit of JavaScript. Where is JavaScript written? Good question, my dear students. We're going to write our JavaScript inside the head section of our HTML. And I showed you before, remember what do we write in our head? We write our CSS there if we're going to use an internal style sheet. Or we can use our link to an external style sheet, okay? So, we have our HTML. So inside we will have our head. And then we're going to have our body. By the way, Neil, please don't take my word as come or go. I'm no HTML expert, okay? So I might be
Well, you're better than us, though.
I might be wrong when it comes to how websites interact with each other. I have using APIs maybe, but this doesn't use it for API. So to my knowledge, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, it's alright. It's alright. I will be learning Django anyway, so.
Very good, Neil. Now, dear
Yeah.
viewers at home,
Just
please,
ask, just like trying to fetch some extra knowledge before learning.
yes.
I will probably know all of this after learning Django anyway. So.
Yeah, of course, and you don't need me for that.
Oh, by the way, but maybe we need you for some password coding later on.
Okay, we can figure
Yeah.
something out with that. Okay. Dear viewers at home, please don't take my word as Bible, as gospel. I have no idea what I'm doing. Anyway, now we have our title. I don't really have a title for this. I'm just gonna call it the weekly update. Why not, right? Now, I'm gonna now show you how we can write some JavaScript. So first, we're going to start with our script. See, I can spell. So we have our script section, and our script section is where we can write our code. Okay? So this is where we write our code, is inside our script section. Just like we have inside our head section, we have our little section here. Like a style, like we have there. So inside here, we're going to write our code. So let's write our code. We're going to do this in terms of JavaScript. And Ryan, you might be some familiar with how to write JavaScript functions. This is kind of similar to how Java and Octave actually do this. Now, we start by saying that function change. What does change mean? Change is the name of my function. It can be anything, but I'm going to call my function change because you'll see in a second why I call it like that. And if you remember how we do it in JavaScript, Ryan, is that we have to start with our curly braces in and then our curly braces out. So whatever the function is going to be defined by what's inside here, okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I remember something like this.
So the inside, we write our function inside these curly braces. So these curly braces tell us what's the inside of our function, okay? So to do this, we're going to simply say document. Now here's some code that can be rather cryptic. Document.get element by ID. And I'll show you why ID is important in a second. The ID will allow us to link our things together. Show. What do I mean by show is our ID. We've created this ID show, and this is our unique identifier for this function, okay? So that means that we can apply this function by using the ID show. And I'll show you in a second how that works. And then you got dot inner HTML is equal to, let's say, wild Wednesday is almost here. So what does that mean? Why did I put that? Other than why my notes put this, is what I'm going to do is I'm in essence going to make a website that has some text, and when I click a button, it's going to change the text. okay? And this is the text that we're going to be replacing with, right? So this is our replacement text. And in essence, this is all our function is. This is it. This is our function. And what we've essentially take this document, use this ID show, link it to whatever we'll have, and then just simply replace the text that is there with this text on the click of a button. Make sense? Kinda?
So on the button is show.
I'll show. No. I haven't made the button yet. This is no button. This is just
Okay.
This will just change the text when there's a button clicked. We have to make the button now, and to make the button, we have to build it in our body. So let's make a button. Actually, let's first build the rest of the simple website because it becomes a little hard to do. Let's see, I hope my old computer science teacher does not mind me stealing his notes. Now, now what we're going to do is create a paragraph. And this paragraph is going to be our, well, we're going to assign it with some ID that doesn't exist. The reason is far more complicated than I'm willing to explain, but don't worry about it. Just imagine that this ID will do nothing, right? I'm just putting it there so that I can, it makes my code easier to read for me in the future. It's kind of like internal commentary, but it's not. So we're going to have our days so far, but it's not necessary to put that there. But I'm just going to put it there because my notes tell me to. Now, we're going to have Monday. Again, this is just going to be text. Monday. Is that how you spell Monday? No, Monday. See? I'm such a good... I see, I'm so good at English. Now, Tuesday. /p, right? So this is just going to be basic text. If we save this and actually run it, you will see. This is just basic text. Nothing special about it. We do some zoom. Nothing special about this, okay? Just basic text. So now what are we going to do is now we're going to use our show. Because now we're going to have our text that we want to replace. So we're going to have our ID. And this is going to be show. Now, it's like so. So what comes next? So what does that do? Let's rerun it again and find out. Nothing special, it's just normal text. We haven't done anything. We've just applied the ID that we created here in our function down here, okay? And why that's useful is now that we've applied this ID, we can manipulate this text. We can now replace this text with this text at the click of a button. So let's do that, right? Let's make that. And how we're going to make this is we're going to have our input. Now, input is how we can interact with our website, similar to our text box, okay? Input type is going to be button. So now what we've told the program to be button. If we look here, we said that our input type was text. That's a text box. That's how you make a text box, like this. We have our input type, right? To make a button, we just say that our input type is a button. Okay? Oh, good. Good.
So that's literally what we did yesterday, right?
Yes, but the only difference is instead of being a text box, which would be text there, now it's a button. Okay?
Yeah, but we did submit button yesterday, so yeah.
Yes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have an on-click. So what an on-click is essentially what action should it do when you click the button. So what we're going to do is now we have to use our function. And what's our function? Our function is change. Now, why are we not using function change? Because normally in notation, we're just going to use the name of the function. We're not going to use, just like in Python, we have our def and then some function x. We're not going to be saying that we're going to use def x of something. No, we're going to just use x fast. What the hell? We're just going to be using x of something. Okay, that's kind of our idea. Why we don't use functions. So what we've told it is when on click, do this function, right? And what then we're going to do value. And what does value mean? Value means what's the text going to appear on the button. Just like before, we said our value was, sorry, we'll close that. We said that the value was submit. So that means we had a button that said submit on it. While this button is instead, this is an action button, while this is a submit button. Notice here that it's a type that is a submit, which means that when we click when we click this button, it's going to submit to this for this action, right? While when we click this button, it's going to change something here by running this function. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, try it, and then sorry, that shouldn't be in there. Sorry, I sound Canadian when I say that. Anyway, there we go. Try it, and then we're gonna do our ID. And what's our ID is going to be change button. Essentially, we've just given this thing a new ID. Not necessary, but we're just going to continue using it like so. Again, why we do this, I can't fully explain, because, again, I'm not an HTML expert. I'm only teaching you what I know, which is more than what you know. So, why we apply a new ID is a little confusing for me. My understanding is inside a function, the instructions inside a function are only executed when they are activated or called for. For example, a function can be executed when a user clicks a button. So, yeah, that's my understanding of this. So, if we now save this code, Control S, and now let's run it and see what happens. Sorry. So, boom. But it doesn't reverse back. You will have to create some kind of loop, or you would have to create another function that when it clicks a second time, it changes. Again, I'm not skilled enough to do that. I'm only skilled enough to create something simple like this. Does that make sense, why this works? This is a simple button mechanic. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, Ryan, that's good. Neil, do you have any questions? You always have good questions that I can
Still
answer.
processing.
Okay. Now, I like to experiment on camera here. What happens if we change this to say something like that? Does the button still work? And we like to experience. Yeah, of course, it's not necessary. This is just essentially we've just created this ID as a way to identify what this button does. It's not even necessary. Just like how this isn't necessary. If anything, we could just strip this code down, right? ID show that is necessary. Can we strip this down and still make it work? Let's find out. Yeah, it's not necessary. We can strip it down, but again, in future you might want to use this ID to, like, say, do it all over again. Say you want to redo the thing. Like, click it again, it'll change back, kind of thing. Again, not qualified to show you that, because I don't know. Questions? Sarcastic comments? Anything for the entertainment? I'm sorely disappointed in you people. Okay. If this makes sense, we can move on to the second JavaScript thing.
Okay.
Yeah? Now, this requires me having a picture of a light bulb that is on and a picture that is off. In essence, we're doing a similar thing just like this. However, what we're going to do is, instead of replacing text, we're going to replace an image. That's what we're going to be doing. Okay. These are called on-click events, right? Anyway, let's start a new one. Control, new.
Would that mean you just enter when you enter the text, you just enter the image?
It's not exactly like that, but you're not far off, right? You're not far off from that, okay? Instead of it being a paragraph here, like, it's going to be our image src, or image source, remember? Did we have an image before?
We did images before,
Yes,
yeah.
image src, similar to this instead. Okay? So let's try that.
Makes sense.
However, firstly, I need to download 2 pictures. And if you're following on, you can download 2 pictures of light bulb on. Yeah, why not? I like this light bulb. We can save image as light bulb on. Well, what save this is the light bulb on, and then I need a light bulb off. Again, these are just demonstrations of what we can do with this kind of power, but you know, I feel sorely unqualified to teach you guys this stuff, and I apologize to you and your families. Light bulb off. Okay, save light bulb on and left bulb. Now we have our light bulbs, that's all good. So, what are we going to do is we're going to, again, because I'm lazy, I'm just going to copy this stuff, right? And again, we're going to save this as an HTML file so that we can get all of our HTML. Bulb.html. Bulb.html. Now, let's write a script. So actually, I'm going to do this, instead of one button, I'm going to do two buttons. One button to turn it on, and one button to turn it off. So what I'm going to do is create two buttons, and we're going to have our function, script, function off, and our function off is going to go like, essentially what we're doing is to get this element by this ID and then replace it. Get the element of this ID. So what does that mean? Now, I don't think I well explained what this does. This like what it means to do. So if we go back here, what it's doing is it means get the element by this ID. So you might be wondering, why did we assign this to this ID? So what we've done is we've assigned the ID show to this piece of text that we want to replace. So now what this function does is it gets the ID show. It brings the element. So it brings this text, and then it's going to make it now equal this text. We've replaced this text that existed there. This text that existed here, and replaced it with this text here by retrieving it by its ID. That's why IDs are useful. They're unique identifiers. Make sense? I'll take the silence.
I think so. Yeah.
I'll take it
It
as a
does.
yes. Okay. So what am I going to do now is I'm going to do .src. So notice I'm doing, instead of inner HTML. So what I'm saying is the inner HTML, what it's doing here is this is when it's concerned with replacing text. When it's concerned with replacing images, it's going to be .src. And what's src? It means .source. We're changing the source of the picture. Okay? So we're going to change the source of the picture to be, what did we say? We said it is light bulb off dot JPEG. Is that what it was? It's light bulb off dot JPEG. Okay, that should work. But however, again, remember to put your things into your HTML folder, because otherwise it can't retrieve it. So light bulb on, light bulb off. Put it into my... Why won't you scroll? I'm annoyed. Move to... Oh god. Move to documents. You guys see documents somewhere? Documents. Of course you can. You can barely see my screen. What if I just Control X them? I want to move them, but it won't scroll. Why won't you scroll? I'm incredibly annoyed, you can tell. As a big fan of Microsoft Windows, I'm annoyed that it doesn't do what I want. Now, HTML. Now, we have our HTML folder, and this has all our text and everything that we need. Boom. So, we're going to have .jpeg, so now that we can finally access it. So, we're going to end off with our curly braces. This is our first function. Now, what if we want to write a second function? We're going to do function on this time. So this is a new function. This is going to be our on function. How we're going to do that is simple. We're just going to... Actually, we're going to, in essence, do this. However, we're going to change here to, instead of bulb off, bulb on. Okay? So this is our script section. We've written ourselves a bit of JavaScript right there. Okay? So now we can close off our head. I forgot my title, didn't I? So we can write a little title. Again, titles are not necessary, but I want one to be like bulbs. Do I say bulbs funny? I feel like I say bulbs funny. Bulbs. No. Title. Boom. Head. And then we're going to do our body. Now, here is where things can get a little funky. If you notice, this is not going to be that much different than our body. Okay. Body. H1. What can JavaScript do? Now again, this is just basic text because I want to make a website that looks semi-presentable. However, it's not necessary. So, it's not necessary for you to follow these steps, but I'm doing it. JavaScript can change HTML content. In essence, I'm writing a tiny explanation here on what it actually does. So we're changing content in it. That's all we're doing. We're changing content by replacing something that shares this identifier, and we're replacing it with this when we click a button. That's all we're doing. So, however, I'm not sure if this is useful to you guys, but I think it's important, you know, that if you're going to combine Django with HTML, with CSS, and with JavaScript, it's going to be a fun ride for you guys. JavaScript changes the source URL of the image. So again, I think I explained this a million times, but I'm going to do it one more time for everyone to understand. Is what this does is it changes the source URL. It replaces the image that shares this identifier with this URL. Because it's going to take the source that I'll show you in a sec when I put in the source. It's going to take that and it's going to switch it out with this one, which in turn causes it to switch image. Okay? So next, we're going to now create a button. So how do we create a button? We go for our input. Our input type is equal to button. Button. And then on click, on our click event, we're going to cause it to run our on script. Doesn't matter which way you do this, but I'm going to do an on script. So value is now going to be, what do you think the value will be? It's going to be like turn on the light. All right, turn on the light. And our ID is going to be our on button. ID will be equal to on button. Okay, our on button. Boom. Image ID is going to be equal to bulb. So what am I doing here is I am now putting this image into our website, in our webpage. So again, this is our normal how do you put images. Is going to be src, not ser, src is going to be equal to our sorry, I'm tired. Bulb. Sorry, what is this going to be? This is going to be our bulb off because we're wanting to change our light bulb from off to on. So light bulb off dot JPEG, like so. And then we're going to apply a style. Why are we applying a style? Because we want to say make the width of this picture only 100 pixels. This is another way of doing the resizing, you know, the height and stuff. Again, I'm just, you know, throwing some new stuff that I haven't shown you before, but don't worry about it. It's just, we're just px. So what we're doing is we've changed the picture size to 100 px. That's pixels. That's going to be a tiny image, but I don't care. So, there we go. We got our image, and we're going to have to close off our image like so. And now we're going to have to redo this, however, for a different button. So we're just going to do this, and we're going to, instead running off our off script, we're going to, our on script, we're going to write our off script. And then we're going to turn the light. Turn the light off. And now that we've run our off script, and then we're going to change the ID of this to our off button. Boom. And then end off with our, close our body up. Body. And then we're going to close up our HTML. And then done. We have here a fully functioning, hopefully fully functioning website. So let's test it out and show you what it does. We're going to go into open into default viewer. We'll drag it here. So if you notice, we have some light bulb that is off at the moment. If we turn the light on, it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Why don't you cooperate with me? Bulb off. When the bulb is off, do this. Turn the light off. However, I haven't told it to change the image to anything. I think that's the problem. Let's see, bulb. And now replace it with bulb off to bulb on, like so. And try reloading that. No. Huh. Why does this not work? Let's see. Image src bulb off dot gif dot that. Okay. So this shouldn't be here. So we have this, and then somehow when it goes, the ID is bulb. When I click the bulb, turn on the light, run this script, and with this ID bulb, it's going to take the source image, which was this light bulb dot off, and then it's going to run this, the on script. So I am confused. If you know something I don't, please let me know. Why doesn't this work? I am very confused. So style, that should be fine. Our src is source, which is going to be our light bulb off.jpg. That works. And we have our ID, which is bulb. I'm stumped, guys. I'm not sure. Because to me, this should work.
I'm not sure. Should there be another image thing under the last one?
I try that, but that just adds another image. Because what we're saying this is, if you run the button that says turn the light off, we're simply telling it change it to this value, right?
We wanted to like change the image to another image, right? So we wanted to like replace the image.
What if we run it there instead? No. No. Because
Just change its placement.
Because what I really told the program to do is we have this button here, we have this image here, and then we have this button here, right? So on this button, run this script where it changes something that has the ID bulb, which is this. Maybe if we change the IDs to something like light. Light, right? We got our light, we got our light. Our ID equals our light, okay? light. This shouldn't do anything, but maybe it was confusing with the bulbs or something.
You should both.
Because it
Should
has...
should document get element both be different ones, or
No.
element should they both be light?
Oh, I'm an idiot. There we go. We forgot our ID, people. Yes, we are very good programmers here. The reason that doesn't work because I said get element by, but I didn't tell it get element by what. So now, hopefully, if we reload this, aha, we've got a light that just, I mean, we're not changing the light, we're not turning the light bulb on as much as we're just changing the actual light bulb. But irrelevant, people, it works. So questions on why that works, or is that all okay?
Now it's good,
I
yeah.
don't mind. Doesn't work.
Okay. Why?
Why doesn't it work though?
Have you made sure to add your...
Listen, any here so we can work on my look at my work, or is there more? If there's more, we can learn more and then look at my work on the
No,
side.
no, there is no more.
Okay, well then I can share my screen.
Yes, please
Have to
do.
examine the code.
See what trouble there is to my work.
Let's see.
Maybe you forgot like one of those slashes at the end. I bet.
Yeah.
Probably.
Wait, let me check. What the? There's actually slashes at the end. Oh. Let me slashes.
I knew it.
Ah, yes,
Let me add those slashes.
Ryan managed to predict what was wrong with your code.
Yeah.
He's
Dude, it's the most common mistake. I do it all the time.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
like, why isn't it working?
Does yours
Yeah,
work, Ryan?
you're right. Yeah, mine's fine.
Okay.
I just look at my code. It's still not working.
Okay. If you cast your screen, we can take a nice good look at it. And
Higher screen, sure now. Bim bam boom. Here it is. Now you can see my HTML page.
1 second. 1 second. Let me just switch the thing to so that the video can actually see your page. Okay, I can see it. Yeah.
I have merged both tutorials into one document. So this one, both are, neither of them are working.
Wait, Neil has an
Actually.
extra thing.
Let's see what kind of you might have interruptions. Let's take a look at this, right? Let's
Okay, so for the first one, it didn't work, but I don't know why. So function change. Okay.
Yeah.
Document element by show.
Yes.
That's the first one. HTML.
Yeet or get yeeted. Okay, that seems fine to me.
Okay. Now it goes to body, right? H1 doesn't matter.
Okay.
ID equals to yeet3. There's no yeet3 ID, but I think
It doesn't
you
matter.
put something.
That's fine.
Matter. And this one ID equals to show, so this one is the one you're replacing, right?
Yes. On click run change, and then value is going to be try it. That appears absolutely fine. I don't see a problem with that. If you run it, let's see what happens.
Wait, it's saved, right?
Save it.
Yeah, I saved it.
Oh, okay. I didn't see
Did I save it? It is saved.
Can you reload your page?
Yes, I did reload my page.
Yeah, I did reload the page.
And then I click try it, nothing happens.
Okay.
It's supposed to change yeet or be yeeted.
Okay. If we go back to your code.
Yeah, let's look at this again.
Let's look at if... Okay, firstly, your function won't work. Your two other functions won't work because you wrote function... Functi...
Bruh.
No, functino. You wrote functino, whatever functino means.
Nice one, Neil.
That's
Okay,
still not function. That says function. Function.
How?
Oh, yeah, you forgot the
There's
C.
missing a C. Okay.
Okay. Oh, we can. Let's just try the second one, see if it works. Nothing changes. I still have two images over here. It's supposed to be one. Nothing changes.
Okay, go back to your code.
Wait, you added the second image. That's
Firstly,
why.
for your function, you're missing your semicolon because JavaScript relies on semicolons. Put your semicolons there. That's one problem. 6. Let's see. Yeet, yes. That says yeet, no, do. Then we take the ID that is show, and then firstly delete the ID yeet3 because it's unnecessary. Okay, good. Do that, and try adding an ID to that section that you're in, just add like change button.
Here, change button.
Yes, change button. Okay, that's fine. Now try, let's see, input type is button. Let me just switch mine to. Input type is button, on click run on. Value is going to be no image. ID is going to be on button. Okay, so what you're saying is it's going to switch to nothing. That's why it doesn't work. Firstly, yeah, you only that won't switch to anything. That's not necessary down there. Remove that.
Okay. Boom.
Remove that, right? Good. Now, well, the problem is you've got a value here that says, well, no, wait. Our value is no image.
Yeah.
That's on our button. So that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Value is like, if value is what displays on the button, or is ID what displays on the button?
Value is what's placed on the button. Now,
okay, so it doesn't really matter. It can
so
be
if you look down, let's see, ID equals bulb. Did you say that your ID image ID equals bulb? Okay, here's your next problem. Your ID image should be daemon. No. Your ID for your image ID over here. Go down. Image ID. No, to the left and down. The next line down. That should be daemon.
Okay.
Okay. src is now, that's your source, is going to 1.png, and that's going to be that. Okay. On click, it's going to run your off. It's going to be value, yes, value. Try now saving that, running that.
Okay, that's saved.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Does your try it work, though?
Huh?
Try it. Does it work?
Yeah.
Okay, so it does work.
All right.
There you go. You're welcome.
Okay.
Code.
Bunch of Java problems.
There you go. Code fixed. Let me switch.
Tuck.
No problem. I think that's how you say it. I don't speak Swedish, okay? Don't come at me. No. Okay.
It's a problem or something, isn't it? Neil, you know Swedish, right? How do you say no problem?
Yeah, I think the viewers would love to know how you say no problem in Swedish.
Google.translate.
Yes. Something like
Jump
that, right?
onto Google Translate, Neil.
Okay, no problem. Inga problem. But I don't think people actually say that. I don't know. I'm beginner Swedish.
I mean, you could say no worries, but say it in like the idiomatic term and say ingen fara på taket. And there's no danger on the roof.
Yeah, that's that.
Oh, you sound so Swedish
find all
there.
the weird things.
Yes, I can do the Swedish accent, Neil, but I can't speak Swedish, okay? Come at me. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. I mean, for HTML that I know that I can teach you, that's me. I have the notes on the classroom. You can view them there. I know this was only a 50-minute lesson. I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow with you guys. If you want, I can do like a recap. We can do like a recap of everything, and we can implement all the stuff we've done into one big website, right? With JavaScript, with like CSS, with all the links and videos and everything we've done, right? Into one big thing. We're bringing all of the things together.
Okay, so maybe I'm thinking
yes,
we can do we can design a login page for exercise. I mean, something similar to what we're gonna do, but like a login page for exercise. And I'll create a Django database, like from what I know tonight, and then see how we can connect them. Like just try out if it works. We can create a page,
kind of an
a login page, with pictures as well, with buttons.
So like an experimentation session where we just test out things?
To see how it connects well with Django. To see how it connects well.
Okay.
I'm just gonna so for the login page, all we need is username, email, and password.
Yeah. Or you could use your email as a username, so you could bypass the need for creating a new username to begin with.
Wait, what?
If you use your email as the username, you can bypass the need for a username.
Okay. Do that.
Because emails are already unique. You don't need to create a... I mean, well, then it's down to privacy reasons, but that's your problem to deal with.
And at the same time, you can teach password encoder.
that's gonna need me. I'm gonna need a few days to prepare stuff like
Oh,
that.
okay,
It's
okay. Well,
way
then
too
never
quick.
mind.
I apologize to you and your family.
I guess our classmates' password would just be visible. No, okay. Maybe
Hey.
I will learn it myself. I don't know.
Hey, you're kids, okay? They can't arrest you. This is Sweden. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna end it there.
Not fully true,
I,
but sure.
I'm gonna end the. Shut up, Ryan. I'm gonna end it there. I need an outro. Do you guys have a suggestion for an outro?
Wait, I have a question though.
Oh dear.
Are we
yes.
gonna do the login page though tomorrow?
We can
Because
do
if
like.
we are, I'm just gonna start working on Django right now. But if we aren't,
No, we can
I
do like
probably
the
won't.
visual. We can make it look nice and stuff. I can show you the HTML.
Yeah, but then I'll try with connecting the
Okay, that's your
database
job.
with. Huh?
That's your job. You're doing the
Okay, but
connection.
are we gonna do a login page tomorrow?
Yes, we can do a login page tomorrow.
Okay, then I'll start working with Django right now.
Okay, very good. I need an outro, guys. How am I going to do this outro? I need like a theme song or something. Like, what would be my theme song?
If we ever get the economics song, then you can always do that.
Yes, no, we should try
Mr. Jimmy.
Yes, Neil, go for it. Go for it, Neil. Come on, Neil.
I don't know how to say Mr. Jimmy, the computer science teacher.
The computer science guy.
Computer science guy.
Yeah.
He teaches. No, that's the wrong. Yeah.
This is kind of cool.
Hey, though.
Hey, no. I like that. I like that jingle. I need that
The
jingle.
Hadel
Okay.
at the end's good.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
I'm gonna work on it right now. Hey,
I
though.
approve of the Hadel.
Bye, everyone.